Broken pieces of shattered dreams becomes the reality of my existence. Validating my presence as just another burden. My heart has become incarcerated, unable to love another because I'm still trying to figure out what love is.
All right, awesome. Hello, everybody. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm so excited. As I said, calling all dreamers. Today, I have such an exciting show with you. Obviously, as you can see, the wonderful, the magical, the inspirational Maestro DeSean.
How you doing, everyone?
Yes. So, as I'm just waiting for some people to come on and view, this is part of the Jasmine Empower series. Hi, Omar. How you doing?
Hey, Omar.
Right. This is part of the Jasmine Empower series where this week, every day of this week, we're going to be talking to someone who is in their own life empowering the people in their world. So yesterday we had Isabel River on, and she was so beautiful, wasn't she? Beautiful, graceful, and she spoke about how she's pursuing her, on her way to becoming a doctor, that she's, you know, now a model and a spokesperson for the charity Priceless, and just how, and she's going to India and Dominican Republic and all these things, and I'm just like, yes, empowering the people in her world through the song of her own heart. And speaking of music, song, Maestro over here, he is a spoken word artist, a singer, songwriter, a mentor, and a dreamer.
Yeah, definitely.
Dreamer is just so important. I know you sent it to me in caps, and we're going to dive into that, but I want to see that. Hey, I love it. Omar said hey. So anyways, make sure that you're like sharing, tagging any friends. Today's going to be truly inspirational. Maestro is up to big things in his life. He's going to share a bit of his story. And really, part of this is that I want to give an open platform for people to be able to share. I feel like there's so many things in the news that's just really negative right now. A lot of things that are bringing just discord and strife and people at ends. And sometimes I think we forget that there's actually people out there who are making a difference. Not trying to make a difference, they're making a difference in people's lives every single day. So part of that little tee up, as people continue to join, is Maestro. I would just love for people to just get a little taste about what empowerment means to you.
Okay, so what empowerment means to me is not only empowering myself and not only owning my worth and what I could create and leave a rich legacy in the world, but also giving others permission to shine, to be bright in the world, to be a star, to be a dreamer, and to make a difference in this world. You have so many things going, like the shooting in Miami, or you have you have people just full of rage and full of hate and full of disconnect.
Even the politics.
Even the politicians. So the political climate, that's a perfect example. And you have all of that going on. At the same time, there are people who they want something more. They're pretty much begging for something more. And the thing that I'm seeing is a lot of these things are happening out of pain, out of hurt, out of fear. And my challenge, or my invitation through my music, through my poetry, through my sets, even through my coaching, is to empower through love. And so it's funny that I wrote a song called Here for Love. So I like to know what is my purpose. My purpose is to be here for love, to challenge other people to find the love in every situation and not come from a place of fear so often.
And I know that we've presenced this before, but it just, as far as choosing from love or fear, I know that was huge for me when I realized that there were only two places I could choose from. Either in this moment, I'm either choosing in love right now, or I'm choosing from fear. And it can be so powerful. And I think that a lot of times, like you said, our natural reaction, our go-to reaction is, okay, I'm afraid of this, So let me lash out in fear. And I think that, especially as we're talking about dreams today, what tends to hold us back from doing that career path that we always wanted, or traveling to this place or that place, I think are not only the fears and doubts that come from within, but I think also sometimes, and you might have some of your own, just other people's fear and doubts that get placed upon you.
Exactly. I was going to actually say something, you know, even taking a step further from love and fear, we also can look at it from proactive and reactive. So are we coming from a place where I'm creating something, or I'm just reacting to what already happened to me, or what is being caused? And that's a very prominent place we can be positive. Like, okay, well, how can I be proactive in this situation? Okay, I cannot change what happened in Miami, but what can I do moving forward? I know that when I go to a show, I can spread love, I can spread consciousness, I can spread awareness, and that's going to make a difference on what the next person, like, I love it when I do performances and people come up to me and say, man, that poem or that song really resonated with me because you know, I was going through something and that was like perfectly timed. And so that's the thing, like, whatever, like my mission in life is, and this is every day when I wake up, how can I aspire to be encouraged, motivated, and encouraged, motivated, and empowered, so that I can empower and encourage and motivate others. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, that's what's missing in a lot of places. You know, when you look at the youth who are troubled, when you look at the people who are, you know, I hate to go back to the shootings, but like, people don't just shoot because
it's relevant right now.
But people don't just shoot somebody because they love them. They don't just shoot them because I had nothing else to do. It, like, what is the cause? What was the domino effect to lead to that, right? And so my invitation to everybody that I touch, I say, hey, so what can we do that's coming from a place of love? And I like to think I jokingly call myself the ambassador of giving, ambassador of hugs or something like that. Because seriously, a hug can make a huge difference. Like, if I hug you, you hug the next person, and what kind of domino effect can we create?
You know, and that's what I love. So I want to encourage you guys that I love that. I agree. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, as we're going with, and that's what I love about Facebook Live. If you've got a question for Maestro or a question for myself, or something that you want us to touch upon, feel free, okay? Go ahead and...
Hi to all the newcomers.
I know, and hi, Michaela.
Hey, KK.
Kayla, hey, Blue. And yes, Marcus, I agree, perfect. So just as we're going, if you have any questions or any comments, feel free, comment, and as we're going, we'll try to pause in our group to make sure that we address that. But one thing that I'm hearing from you, and it was prominent, I was also in a leadership weekend, training weekend, and one of them was like, let's have some fun. And here's the difference. So, and this is what I'm hearing you say, right? What I think I'm hearing you say is about creating instead of being reactive about it, is this idea of, like, even if there's a difference between having fun and being fun.
Exactly.
And that was a huge, like, eye-opener for me. Like, yeah, let's have fun today, da-da-da-da. And what was so beautiful is Michael Strasner, if you don't know him, he is amazing, an amazing trainer.
Coach,
and he presents that the difference between having fun and being fun is you're consuming it. You're a consumer of it. So it's like when you go to the movies, we're having fun, right? Because you're consuming fun. If you go to your show, you're having fun and you're consuming fun. And what I think I'm hearing you say is be the fun, create the fun. How can you not just have love in your life, but how can you be the love in your life?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm saying. Creating joy and celebration and connection. Connection is a good word. Like,
it's a fabulous word.
Connection is a huge word. I think that the reason why we're able to establish relationships and network and all those things, those all come from connection. So, like, if we were coming from a place of connectedness, always, imagine what we could create in this world. Not just, like in our career, not just in, in the next platform for our raise or whatever, but like connection in our family, connection in our relationship.
How many followers do I have, right? Or how many likes?
Right.
And that, which is, there's nothing wrong with it. Trust. I mean, we're here, okay?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with it. But I agree, though. A lot of what my dream is really the connection that I feel that we've lost just across the dinner table.
Right.
The connection that we've lost, and that's what I'm becoming and bringing myself more to be aware of, especially with my own son who's 3.5. And
3.5 already?
3.5 already.
Wow.
I know. But he's 3.5 already, and it's so easy to just grab dinner, turn on the TV, and watch the TV, eat our food, and this is our interaction. Again, consuming, right? We're consuming and we're taking it in instead of, well, hello, connection, being and
Speaking
creating
of which,
it.
let me
Like,
connect a little bit more. We're trying to be all like professional. Let's be Jasmine and Maestro. How about that? So even further than that, I would say we have the opportunity to be a giver or a taker. And I feel like when you are at a place where you're giving, you are being, when you're in a place where you are connected, you are being a giver. When you are being fun, you're being loved, you are being a giver. Yeah. When you're only having, so it gets to be a relationship where you can give and take.
Of course.
But also notice if you're always having fun, but you're never like being the invitation for others to have fun, then it's like, okay, well, you're having a party, but what about everybody else?
Exactly. Which, trust me, especially like in our personalities, we can definitely have all the fun and we feel like we're being fun in our own right. But I want to thank you everybody for joining. Keena, hi, and Cydia, hi everybody. And so what we're talking about for those of you that are just joining us is just really talking about what Maestro says is his purpose and part of his platform and his empowerment is this idea. And that's actually one of his songs and we're going to be talking about, he's going on tour and he's recording an album and, just being here for love. And like I said, this whole series this week, we've got, yesterday we had Isabel, today we have Maestro, tomorrow we have another friend of mine who is inspiring children of all ages with a child's dream, and all of which are just using what the song that is in their heart, the song that God placed in their life, to sing it out, to share it. Because like you said, you never know who's going to need that song in that moment. Like I want you to imagine, sometimes I know it's so prevalent in my life because I love music and I really connect to music. Is there are times when I'm super low that I know I can listen to this song that can keep me going low.
It will lift you to the higher heights.
Or I can choose another song and it's like you said, the right song in the right moment. And that's what I want to get into is for instances like that, imagine if that person had so much self-doubt and so much self-worth conversations that they never recorded that song.
Right.
Like that song that moved you, that song that changed you, that song that, built you up to another level, or whether it's another level like up or another level deeper in vulnerability. Just imagine had they not answered the call, had they allowed their fears to overcome them, then where would we be if we all chose from that point?
You know what's most interesting to me is I don't think that the people who do record don't have fear or they don't have reservations about what they're creating.
Do,
But I think that they and I'm gonna say come from we, because I'm including myself in that. I know personally for me, what I may be fearful when I go to the studio, or I may be like, well, who's going to listen to this, or who's going to listen to this poem, or who wants to, and the thing about it is, like for instance, Broken Silences, which I get to, share with you later, that came from a very, very honest and true place. Yeah. And even when I first wrote it, I didn't even share with anybody. Partially because I was like, it's too vulnerable, it's too personal, I'm too connected to the words that I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't get the.
Oh, hang on.
So we're back. Hey.
I know. Hi and welcome. I just want to make sure that we're not. Oh, you promoters, Daniel. Thank you, obrigada, Luciani. And Randall, thank you for joining us. Allison, hi.
Hi.
Some people in Brazil.
Hi, Allison and Randall and whoever else just joined us.
Yeah, Tanya, fantastic. So just because we got reconnected, I want to make sure that people know where we're going with this. Is that we're just talking about different things that maybe would not happen, or different things that would not be in this world if you don't overcome that fear.
Yeah.
And so part of what you're sharing is with Broken Silence is a piece that you wrote, which stay tuned because Maestro is going to be sharing him, what would you call it? Not a single, but I guess.
It's a spoken word piece. So
yeah, there we go.
And we're back.
But
so I will be sharing Broken Silences. But what I was saying about Broken Silences, when I wrote that, I remember how I wrote it. I was going through a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of stuff happening around me in my life, with my family. It's just a lot of stuff. And I remember I went in the bathroom because at the time I had all this family around me. I just needed a place that there was not family, right? And the only place that was
bathroom sanctuary.
So
that has been
bathroom sanctuary. I was just sitting there writing, and it's funny because I write a little bit here, I may write a little bit there, I may go away from it and come back to it. But with Broken Silences, that was one I wrote seriously from beginning to end right away. I may have edited a couple things, after the fact, but for the most part, that whole poem was written in one sitting.
Got it.
And so that's the other thing that was really profound for me because it was like, it was so honest. Yeah. It just flowed. I couldn't even I felt like I was a conduit. And I was writing, but it was just like everything was coming through me, and that was actually a huge aha breakthrough moment for me because I always was attached to anything I write had to be done in chunks and sections versus I could write this whole piece. And that actually ended up being the first thing I ever recorded was Broken Silences, and then there was the Lover's Anthem, which that ended up on radios and stuff. But Broken Silences was the first thing, and that's actually been my first video. So Broken Silences is my baby, so that's why that's my go-to.
No, and that's so awesome. So I just want to make sure that we welcome everybody else. Oi, saudade de vocês também. Misses me.
Misses you, gotcha.
In Portuguese, eu senti falta. And so what I want to talk about and shift gears in.
Sure.
And thank you so much for sharing that, first of all. And I think what I'm hearing you say, and that's why I was like calling all dreamers, because you can feel the fear. Mm-hmm. The fear will be there, okay? Whether in the minimalist voice or in the loudest voice, the fear is going to be there. But what I'm hearing from you is that the freedom that's on the other side of moving past the fear.
Exactly.
And it's not as if, I think sometimes we kind of get in our heads like, I broke through and I'm never going to feel that again. And it's like, it might come the very next time.
Did you see my face?
Exactly.
I was like,
but you know what I mean? But what's beautiful about that though is that I think just as it's important to recognize that fear is a muscle that we can exercise, but on the other side, love and answering the call is another muscle that we can exercise and kind of move forward. So I want to move so that for all you dreamers out there who are fearful, okay, push through it anyways. We get to hear your song. What I want to shift gears into though is just not only about the tour coming up,
what else I'm up to,
but also to just what did it take from you? Because I know you're not native to LA.
Okay.
I know we probably have a lot of people that are not native to LA right now. I'm actually born and raised in LA, so I'm one of the exceptions. One of the few. But I just, because I know you and I want to share with these people, a lot of what Isabel shared yesterday was just her journey and the self-worth conversation to actually go for her dream of becoming a doctor.
Gotcha.
And so what I want to be able to share with everybody here is, what did it take from you? Because I remember you sharing with me that you kind of felt like a big fish in a small pond.
Right.
And so what did it take from you to say, you know what, not only can I move from Champaign, Illinois, to over here to LA, to now embarking on a fall tour?
So yeah, going back to that. So it was probably about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I realized that I was in Champaign, Illinois, because I went to the University of Illinois, and one of the things that was really, I was doing shows at a lot of local venues. People knew me by name, and I could pretty much go anywhere in the town and oh, that's Maestro, da da da. Like people knew me, and it was because I did poetry. It was because I sang it, because of my everyday 9 to 5 job. Like, but people knew me, and what I noticed at Champaign was the big comfy couch. Now, let's be clear, I'm not a Champaign native. I'm originally from Chicago. But when I went down to school, it was so comfortable down there. I liked this way of living. Okay. I stayed there, right? So I stayed in Champaign, and I stayed down there until 2010. And I did a lot of things. I mean, I was a dance coach for a kids team. Nice. I was a vocal coach for what they call superstars. I danced myself on a couple teams. I was singing. I was, going back and forth to Atlanta, going to Dayton. Like I was in Chicago. I was doing some of those things already, but the thing is, it was comfortable. It was too comfortable, and it was like no growth, no change. And what I really wanted, I noticed, especially about 6 years ago, I really wanted something to elevate, right? Yeah. And I felt stuck, and I didn't know how to put words on that, but I know I was feeling something that was not what I wanted anymore. And I remember finally moving. Actually, yesterday from Champaign, I moved exactly 5 years ago. Yesterday. Wow. And I moved back to Chicago, to recalibrate, figure out what it was I wanted to do, and then go to LA.
Got it.
In the midst of that, I was working, and I found myself in this pattern where I would create enough money in my life, I say I can move, and then something comes up, and I create more money, and then a family emergency where I create more money, and then I was like, but there always was a reason why I couldn't move to LA. There was always a reason why I couldn't move to LA. And then fast forward to December of 2012, one of my dear friends from college called me up, and we hadn't talked in 7 years. Wow. And so, first of all, it was like a shock, but once we reacquainted, he introduced me to this workshop, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go. I mean, I didn't know that this workshop would be something that kind of changed the course of where my life goes. And I realized after coming to that, and that was the basic, I realized after that, I'm moving to LA. Like, that was my declaration while I was in that workshop. I'm moving to LA because one of the things that was stopping me was me. That was the only thing that was stopping me was me. Okay. I kept coming up with other excuses and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it was my own fear, my own conversations and considerations about what I wanted to create moving forward.
And what I love about that for you guys, I mean, I wish I could see you guys sometimes, because I'm like, raise your hand if you have ever been in your own
raise
way.
Your hand. Yes.
Oh, well, I guess you could use the emoji if you.
Raise your hand. Do it.
Right? Made out of sunshine and Disney fun. I love that. Yes. Oh yeah. Or like it in there. Yeah. That's a good way to respond. But so thank you, Angie, for joining as well. But I think that so many times I think we're like you said, we make it into this complicated thing where it's like, oh well, it's this, it's that, it's this and that. When really
it's me.
It's me.
So once I realized it was me that was getting my own way, I moved here, and then I was like, "Oh crap! I'm here. Now what?" So that was actually the scariest part. But I know that even in that, I was able to go to the Grammy Awards for the first time. I was on X Factor, and I made it to the final audition round. And I was like, "Wait, I'm this close to." Now, granted, I didn't make the show, but I mean, just to be that close to what it feels like to be creating that dream. Like, I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I'm not gonna lie and say I've never been discouraged along this journey, but it's always about, if I fall, pick myself back up. Fall, get back up. Fall, get back. Dust yourself off, kiss your boo-boos, and keep going. And so what happened was, I had created, I had done a lot of private things when I first, doing serenades for people, doing private parties, and that sort of thing. And that was great. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time doing that. But I was like, I get to elevate. And then so right now I'm coaching 6 beautiful adults. Yeah. I'm coaching 6 wonderful teens. Yeah. And then I'm embarking on what I get to create in my own career. So I'm like, okay, I've done this year, I was on the radio, and the Lover's Anthem was on the radio. And that was beautiful. That was the first time it was on this radio station in LA. It's been on the radio station in Chicago and WGCI. It's been on a radio station in Detroit. So like it's traveling, it's getting momentum. But I was like, what else do I get to do?
Yeah.
And so this tour was like, and I'm like, oh, how are you gonna make that happen, right?
Right.
But then I just start calling people and talking to people and reaching out to people I know. And then like, so for instance, August 7th, and actually you can catch this woman too.
Yes,
because
she'll be there.
We are Maestro DeSean, and actually just say the tribe. Maestro DeSean is DeSean is part of the tribe. I'm part of the tribe. Jasmine is part of the tribe. The tribe will be doing a show called Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's going to be at a place called Trip in Santa Monica. So keep watch our social medias for that, because we'll definitely be sharing more about that in the upcoming weeks. But then there's another one in Hollywood on August 11th. I have some stuff that I'm creating in August as well. And then, I don't have my full tour dates in front of me, but I do know I have one in Champaign, Illinois, going back to where it all started, November 8th at the Crandon Art Museum at an event they call Speak Cafe. It's a monthly event where poets, singers, artists of all come together and present, and they have one featured performer, and on November 8th I get to be that featured performer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love, thank you guys for the responses. I love it. Here we go. We have a question for you, if you will.
Yeah.
What supports you the most with the getting out of your own way?
What supports me the most is, one, having a network that's so rich and so strong that they don't allow me to stay there. Like, for instance, Jasmine and I are great friends. I'll call her up. We'll have our what are we up to today? And we'll check in maybe 10 minutes. And we are constantly, okay, this is what I'm declaring for this day. I do a lot of goal setting. I have a list of things I want to complete by my birthday, and I've been checking it off. Right, checking it off, crossing it out, and there's still a lot of good stuff I get to do, but I mean, I still have too much to complete the rest of it. And what I am excited about, the thing like performing at Trip was one of the things that was on the list. Like, I want to perform at a venue like. And then Trip was among those. I wanted to move back to LA County because I was living in Orange County, and that was a huge one, right? And then simple things like I want to get my passport so I can travel. I want to book a cruise, like those type of things. But what really supports me is having a network that's so rich that they hold me at my highest always. So even when I'm in my crap and I really want to be like, no, I don't want to do it today, they're like, okay, Maestro, what did you commit to? What is your vision? And then when I'm reconnected to what my vision is, it's like, okay, I can't be in this self beat up mode for long, or I can't be in my crap for long.
And that's such a good point. Like, for me, it was so interesting when I had my birthday, and you know me, I'm super like, yeah, let's turn up. And this birthday, I was like, you know what, I felt so blessed that I had never created close relationships, close friendships in my life. And I'm talking about close where it's like they actually know all my crap and I know all of their stuff, and we can support each other and all that. And it is another level. What I will say as well, Omar, just as far as getting out of your own way, sometimes for me, it takes music and journaling. Journaling is a huge tool, like another practical tool that I use, that when I'm just feeling that way, because sometimes for me, and I know this is, men probably experience this too, but I feel like sometimes women, I'm just going to speak as a woman.
I'll co-sign.
I know that for me is that sometimes if I don't just simply acknowledge how I'm feeling, if I just am like, oh my gosh, this sucks, but whatever, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to and it can be an inauthentic shift, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, whatever, like I'm just going to do it. And sometimes it works, but sometimes, to be honest, it's like, then I'll come up it again, and then I'll come up it again, and then I'll come up it again, to where now I've built this wall so high of not dealing with it, of not dealing with whatever insecurity it is, or whatever doubt it is, or feeling of sadness or loneliness. There's times, especially as a single mom, that I've felt lonely, even in a house of all these people in the house, and I've felt lonely. And it's like, okay, no, but I'm good, and I've got my son, and I've got my family, and I just choose not to address it. That also is that does not support me ever.
So
ever.
Another
so
thing.
Like,
go
well, just to finish real quick. So and as far as the analogy is like, if you continue to not address it, that's why I say journaling or reaching out to a friend or even praying about it. For me, I built it up to where then all of a sudden something comes like a huge tidal wave, and now I'm like out for the count.
Yeah.
So instead of letting it just come in, feel the loneliness or feel the self-doubt or feel the anger or the rage or whatever I'm feeling it, acknowledge it, let it go again. It's almost like a tide, right? It's like, I'm sorry, I'm like, me and my hands, I can't help it. But it's like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
The tide is high. Just kidding. But it's like, I want you to imagine like when you're feeling something like that, it's like, it's okay, feel it, experience it, be in the experience of whatever that is, but then let it go again. So you can't become like a tide pool, right?
Right.
Where it's stagnant, and that's when you become stuck. Because it's coming in and nothing's going back out. Or, like I said, if it's this huge wall and nothing's going back out.
Well, you said something that was very interesting. You said prayer, and I want to get back to that because sometimes it is about reaching out to other people, and sometimes it is about being either be with a higher power and praying, or even meditating, whatever that looks like for you. For me, those things sometimes it's more than just like having a network is huge, but having faith and being able to connect and be alone. Because I feel like sometimes one of the things when I get to trust myself, because a lot of times I know the answer and I don't want to own what that answer is, right? And
I was just there.
so that and people can tell you everything they want to tell you, but until you like say, hey, I'm owning this, I'm creating this, this is my story moving forward. Yeah, so meditation, prayer, and allowing yourself to be by yourself, sometimes. Yeah. So a balance.
Yeah, a balance. Definitely a balance. And thanks for the waves, Blue. But yeah, so it's definitely a balance. And so just, Omar, that's a great question. And I think it's
Thank
a
you
matter.
For that question, Omar.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a matter of, because look, like, again, dreaming is great, but you gotta wake up and take action. So
we're back.
It's great to dream and to keep it up there, but obviously in taking action and whatever that looks like, there are going to be obstacles along the way. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be days that you don't feel like it. And so having a support system or journaling, meditation or prayer, and last thing that I was going to say is to focus on who you're impacting. So it's like when you're worried about getting out of your own way, focusing out. We touched on this yesterday, is that when I don't feel like it, or I'm in the crap of whatever story I'm in about I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, whatever it is, then it's like if I say, okay, who am I impacting today?
Yeah. And
how does that life matter? So that's also another tool that you can use to get out of your own way. So kind of, because I want to stay on time.
Sure.
What I would love for everybody to know, because you spoke about the story, but I think what I would love for people to be able to connect with was what was maybe, or maybe what continues to be, but is slowly silencing, what was maybe one of the biggest fear voices that you had to overcome with worthiness, and maybe you still get to constantly get that in check to be a dreamer, to pursue these dreams.
So one of the biggest things, I think the biggest fear is coming to a place where I realize what I have to say, what I have to contribute to this world matters enough. And I
love how you say even matters enough.
Yeah.
It just matters.
Right.
Yeah.
But what matters, and I think that one of the one of the things that I constantly would struggle with before I started writing was, who's going to listen to this? Who wants to hear this? But I find, now when I'm getting ready for a show, when I'm praying or when I'm meditating, I'm saying, I pray that this, what I'm saying, reaches someone, because someone somewhere needs to hear this. Yeah. I'm also saying that let me, whatever comes out of my mouth right now is purposeful.
Yeah.
And it reaches, it comes from the heart, so it reaches the heart. So whoever I'm talking to, or whoever I'm performing before, they get that this is something that's heartfelt. It comes from the heart. It's something that not just words spoken, or not just some words that I sang.
That sound nice.
Because you know what, I have had performances like that where I was disconnected, and I felt like that was another reason why I'm like, okay, I'm too comfortable in Champagne, because I'm saying great words, but I'm not even feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
So.
And so I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So.
Shout out to Champagne anyway. Right? And Chicago.
Without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and move into the Broken Silences piece.
Okay.
Just so for everybody, thank you so much for those of you that have continued to watch. If you want, I'm just gonna move to the side and you can take full reign here.
I'm gonna take full reign. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna take full reign. But like I said, Maestro's gonna share his poem, spoken word, called Broken Silences. It's on YouTube. We'll put the link in the comment section, so make sure that you check it out, that you share it, especially for those that, well, you'll hear it in a second, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, trust. But my invitation to you is, again, being love. Like you're about to be, consume some love right now. So just be in love, and whatever is on your heart right now, however you feel not heard, however you feel discarded, or maybe trapped or stuck, I just really invite you to, wherever you're at, whatever you're struggling with, whether it's in relationships or your health or with family, with your dreams, that you just allow this to speak to your heart, okay? So Broken Silences, Maestro DeSean.
So this poem is for those who are broken, or have overcome being broken, or are currently being challenged with whatever it is in their lives. Broken Silences. As internal silence becomes the rage that has engulfed me, I cry tears of untold stories, unable to express stifled emotions, becoming the lost voice of previous generations. I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, shifting its abundance to bear the pain, and I never expected you to understand. Broken pieces of shattered dreams becomes the reality of my existence. Validate my presence as just another burden. My heart has become incarcerated, unable to love another, because I'm still trying to figure out what love is. On the brink of another night of confusion, searching in solitude, I bear witness to the angst of not being accepted, my selflessness being mistaken for selfishness because my good has been evil spoken of. In a search for redemption, I prove myself 1,000 times only to be called a contradiction. Who am I? A question that haunts me, but renders no answers. However, my search continues, tired of shedding tears of oppression because I matter. Years of misunderstanding becomes a source of conflict as ignorance becomes a new foundation for evil. Perhaps if you walked a mile or two in my shoes, you'd understand that my story is composed of more than just a fairy tale and a happy ending. As the rising actions lead to the climax, there are many tears cried and much blood lost, but the conclusion never really resolves anything, so is this all in vain? Is this all in vain? Is this all in vain? Because I've lived in silence for too long and I must have a voice. Thank you. Be powerful, dreamers.
All right, yes. So yes, give them some love, guys. Give them some love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So just bringing it to a close, for all the dreamers out there, the end of silence, the broken silence, can happen right now, today.
Today.
So wherever you get to create freedom in your life, freedom from fear and doubts and whatever that is, I'm always available too. If you want to reach out, message me. Maestro will have his link and everything like that. Feel free to message Maestro. Catch the dates on his tour that's coming up this fall. And like I said, his YouTube video of Broken Silences, it's such a powerful and impactful piece that in my experience, honestly, my experience of it is that it really can touch everybody. Like I feel, and that's what I think is so amazing about just humanity, is there's so many things that when I share my story, you relate to. And when you share your story, even just that piece, Broken Silences, I can relate to the silences that I've had in my own life. And so I encourage you guys to break the silence in whatever that, especially just in love, whether it's for family or whether it's another human being that you don't feel comfortable with or you don't relate to. Break the silence. Hug somebody today. Maybe that's...
Yes, go hug somebody.
Go hug somebody. Empower them. Love them up. And choose from love instead of fear.
Do I get a hug from you?
You do get a hug from me. Come on. Of course. Of course, of course.
I love this woman. She's such a powerhouse. And if you don't already know, she has a book she already created, and she's already in the works of creating the second book. And you get to talk about this. She's on her way to doing her speaking tour too. So while I'm doing my tour in my way, she's doing her tour in her way. So we be clear that like it's not just me that's doing something. She is going to be creating some huge things in her life.
Thank you so much, Maestro. Yeah, and that's why I'm here, and because I'm such a believer that there is space enough for all of us to shine.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle. But no little stars. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Like I said, make sure to check out Maestro later on this afternoon at 3 p.m. Check out myself and my girl Michaela Diet. We'll be doing a Worship Wednesday today.
You don't want to miss that. The harmonies are phenomenal.
So,
shout out to KK.
Yes, shout out to KK. So thank you guys so much for everybody who joined. Remember, Cassandra Sampson is on tomorrow at 10 with A Child's Dream. I'm going to be partnering with her this weekend on Saturday. So hey, come and join us on Saturday. I'll give you all the information tomorrow. We're giving a workshop, a free soccer workshop for those kids that are basically underprivileged.
Nice.
She gives free school supplies to kids in need, shoes, backpacks, the whole gamut, and all that stuff. So she'll be on tomorrow, which is excellent. And don't forget this Friday, Freedom Friday, where we get to celebrate our wins for the week. Okay, guys?
I'm all for Freedom Friday.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. I know, right? Any other questions, feel free to comment, and I'll be there. But thank you guys so much. Know that you are worthy. You're worthy to be heard. You're worthy to share the love in the way that you were created to give it and be it. So thank you so much. Take care, guys. Love you too, Omar. Bye, guys. Bye, Christina. Bye, everybody.
Blessings.
Were you empowered by today's show? Well, cool. Click, subscribe. Go ahead. Do it right now. I'll do a little jazzercise. Be empowered today. Yes, you can do it. Did you do it? Did you do it yet? Right there? Okay, cool.